Welcome back to Copper Star Precision, the channel dedicated to getting you more points at your competitive shooting matches. And part of scoring more points is finding ammunition that your rifle likes, finding that special lot number. Now, I know I'm a little bit late to the party, but I did pick up some Eley Ultra Extreme Long Range. Now, it's my understanding that a lot of people who have already reviewed this rifle bought some of the first batch that came from Kilo Shooting Sports, KSS. The local shop actually had some in with different lot numbers. So we're going to see if this lot number fares any better than some of the horrible reviews that we've seen online already. So their lot number was 372. This lot number is 376. So just a couple iterations down the assembly line, but let's see if anything got sorted out in this lot number. So I'll throw up some footage over here of me at the range, looking through the trigger cam, get an idea of the target that I'm shooting at. It's a standard ARA target. We'll go over the target in a second. But I brought my open class CZ457, barreled by Kenny at Desert Precision Gunworks. Fantastic rifle. It's the one that took the Nationals. Insanely accurate. And then I also brought my base class CZ457 rifle, the CZ457 MTR. And I tried both. And what you'll see here, as I started with the open rifle, just going down the line, and the results weren't great. So looking at these first groups, most of them are around half an inch, kind of not exactly what I was expecting out of this rifle. This rifle is capable of shooting in the 0.2 to 0.3 of an inch range with Lapua ammunition. So if we look at the group sizes here, we got half an inch, 0.45 inches, and then we have this crazy group that opens up to 0.86 inches. I'm just not seeing a consistent pattern at all with the groups. So before I went to the range, I cleaned both rifles, did a deep clean, and then put 10 rounds down range just to foul the barrel. So there shouldn't be any cold bore effects or anything like that. And yeah, did not look great. Things did not fare much better for the CZ457 MTR. Again, a very capable rifle in its own right, but it just was not coming together. There's one good group in there, 0.347 inches at 50 yards, but it was not consistent at all. If we take a quick look at Eley's website, they actually suggest the recommended headspace is between 40 and 41 thousandths. So my MTR has a headspace of 43.5 thousandths. So I actually took the time at the range to shim the bolt. So I put a 3 thousandths shim, which brings my headspace now into that 40.5 thousandths range. So right in that range that Eley recommends. So after putting the bolt back together, doing another series, five shot groups, actually dropped the average group size down to 0.484 inches. Still not spectacular by any means, but much better. It was actually like a 27% reduction in group size just by shimming the bolt, giving that tighter headspace to be within that range that Eley recommends. But just for fun, I pulled out some SK Rifle Match, took the bolt shim out, so I'm back to my original headspace because SK and Lapua ammo is right around that 24, 23 thousandths rim thickness. So I feel like it matches well with my headspace of my rifle. So we're talking $10 a box versus $20 a box. And yeah, the groups from this, the first group I shot on the sighter targets, it was basically just to kind of get used to this lubrication because I had been shooting this all day. So just 5 shots just to kind of foul the barrel with new lubrication. And you shouldn't mix lubrications, and I should have cleaned in between. But next 4 5-shot groups were an average of 0.445. So after getting home, pretty disappointed with the results, and decided to do some more investigation. So I actually measured the rim thickness of an entire box of 50 rounds, and I'll put the distribution up here, but I've never seen an extreme spread in rim thickness for match grade ammo or ammo that's $10, $20 a box. I mean, you might see this stuff with like CCI, standard velocity, but the extreme spread in rim thickness was 3.5 thousandths of an inch. We had a round with a rim thickness of 37.5 thousandths and a round with a rim thickness of 41 thousandths. And I don't know if I'm just seeing things, but when I put them side by side, the lowest and the highest, I feel like I can tell there's a difference in rim thickness just by looking at it. I also decided to weigh every round, and while I don't have a super precision scale, the values that I got range from 50.9 grains to 52.1 grains. I'll put a chart of the distribution up here. Now, I'm not someone who normally sorts by rim thickness or by weight, but it just seems there's a little too much variance for what should be a premium ammunition. Also, there's no real published velocity on the box.
You don't find that suspicious?
So usually when it comes to Eley ammo, they will have a velocity down here. So if you know that your rifle likes higher or lower velocity rounds, typically you can kind of look for lot numbers that have the published velocity, and it's missing from this box. Whereas on boxes of 10X and Team, you will actually see the velocities published from out of their test barrels. So this one says 1041, and this one says 1070. So I have heard rumors that Eley may voluntarily recall lot number 72, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to add more lots to that list. But maybe I'm just a terrible shooter. But if you're looking for Eley Ultra, just wait a couple months because they're probably going to collect all that lot 72 and sell it back to you as Eley Team. But now I have a question for the audience. So I bought a full brick of this. So I've got a bunch of ammo lying around. I have about 300 rounds to spare. And what should I do with it? Couple options. I could take it and use it in my bench rest rifle. So I could take out my Anschutz and see if that likes this. But a bench rest rifle is really designed for 50 yards and in, where this is supposed to be ultra long range for longer distances. And if you're wondering why I didn't test longer distances beyond 50 yards, I don't see how magically things are going to converge and group at further distances if they're not going to shoot at 50. All of our testing is usually done at 50 yards. 50 yards is our zero. If you don't see results there, I don't think there's really a point in moving on to longer distances. But maybe I'm just a terrible shot and I can't shoot groups worth a damn. So I could send some of this ammunition to other people who have already tested it. So they have a different lot number and they can compare and contrast between the sort of the recalled lot and this lot. So if you think that's valuable, I want you to recommend a YouTuber down below, a gun tuber, and a channel. I'm thinking like Elijah over at Day at the Range, or Josh over at Pursuit of Accuracy, or Cyclops Joe, any of those guys, or your other favorite person who is in the rimfire scene who wants to give this ammo a try, and I perhaps will send them a box or two. Thanks for stopping by. Questions and comments down below. Don't forget to tag using an @ and the channel name of some YouTuber. Maybe I'll send them some ammunition. And yeah, pretty interesting stuff, but it looks like if you want to score more points, avoid this stuff.